Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks, Anna and Miha. So, welcome everyone. A warm welcome to all of those who are here in the headquarters of the European Commission in Brussels. And of course, a very warm welcome to all those who are online, following the forum online. I understand from Miha that actually there are lots of us from all over the world. So we have participants across Europe, Africa, the Americas, Middle East, and Asia. As acting Deputy Director General for the Directorate General for Translation of the European Commission, on behalf of my Director General, Christos Elynnidis, I really have the great pleasure to open this event today. It's really, as we know, it's really a special week for democracy across the world, and probably a very special day with the results of US elections out already. But if we look back at the whole year of 2024, we see that it has been an exceptional year for democracy. Nearly half of the world's population has been able to vote in elections this year. Perhaps most of us also voted this year. We've seen elections in India, South Africa, Japan, Indonesia, and Brazil. And of course, here too, we had elections to the European Parliament in June. The elections saw a record number of first-time voters and achieved the highest turnout for over 25 years. What an achievement. So I think that this is really proof that democracy is alive and kicking in Europe. And the democratic process is continuing right here and now. The new MEPs are hard at work in parliamentary hearings to scrutinize the nominees from all EU countries as their next commissioners, one from each EU member state. The new parliament questions and then votes on every commissioner designate, which means that every country and every region of Europe has their say. This is European democracy at work. And in this important process for the EU, just as it is across the world, we know that words matter. Our choice of words sets the tone of the political debate, with the ability to unite or divide, enthuse or annoy, stimulate ideas, or send you to sleep. So I hope that I'll do my best not to do that for you. As wordsmiths, we in the Commission's language services are hard at work too, translating documents for the hearings so that every MEP can scrutinize the candidates in their own language. Because, as you know, the European Parliament is the most multilingual parliament in the world. And the language services are an integral part of democratic process. And this democratic process means that the future direction of the EU is taking shape right now. The Commission President von der Leyen has already issued political guidelines to shape the work ahead. The guidelines spell out that the next European Commission will focus on competitiveness, decarbonization, and becoming a global leader in AI innovation. This is relevant to us in translation, as we are at the very forefront of AI innovation in the language services with our work on large language models. But you will hear more about that later on. This summer too, the Draghi report on EU competitiveness prescribed 3 priorities for action: the urgent need to close the innovation gap with the US and China, decarbonization and competitiveness, and the need to increase security and reduce dependencies to build resilience. Again, very topical in the context of today. Once again, the report emphasizes innovation and AI, 2 priorities that will feature prominently in this year's edition of the Translating Europe Forum. These 2 major reports contain words that matter, words that will shape the direction of the EU. But they are not simply statements of intent. The words are already being translated into action. Just recently, after several rounds of political negotiations, the EU's AI Act entered into force. And this AI Act is the first ever legal framework on AI that categorizes the risks of AI and positions Europe to play a leading role globally in developing trustworthy AI. I repeat, trustworthy AI. And in-house at DG Translation, we are very proud to be leading the work on large language models and related AI applications. Our AI-based multilingual services are already in use, not only in translation, but also across all Commission departments to help staff with a range of reporting, summarizing, and drafting tasks. Working together with DG Connect under Digital Europe program, we make our AI-based multilingual language services available to all EU staff, but not only. We also make these services available to public administrations, universities, NGOs, and to many other eligible users all around Europe. You'll hear more about these services in later sessions. Looking ahead at our potential democratic changes set to have an impact on our language services, it's important also to touch upon the processes underway to expand the EU. Just 2 weeks ago, Moldova voted in a referendum to push ahead with talks to join the EU, having started formal accession talks early this year. And of course, we continue our support, extensive support to Ukraine, with accession talks also underway and a whole host of initiatives to support them, our neighbor under attack. The Western Balkans are also on the path to EU membership, and they are building up their capacity to translate the body of EU law into their own languages before they join the EU. So these developments pose challenges, obviously, but they also give us great opportunities for growth, innovation, and also allow us to contribute our expertise as linguists and multilingual and multicultural communicators. They show that multilingualism, a cornerstone of the EU, is not going anywhere. On the contrary, it is likely to gain in importance as the EU prepares to welcome new members and new languages, frames new policies, and launches a drive to boost Europe's industrial competitiveness. And obviously, translators and the language industry in general have a crucial role to play in all these changes. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, friends, in times of such change and uncertainty, words matter more than ever. Words matter to democracy, to reaching people in their own language and speaking clearly. Words matter also to the specific form of technological change we are going through right now. High-quality linguistic data is fundamental to building the large language models that are actually behind the current AI transformation. It is fundamental to building clear prompts to then make effective use of those AI services and ensure that their output is reliable. Clear language is essential to build trust, avoid misunderstandings, and to clarify meaning. In an era of information overload, disinformation, and distraction, it stands out to be clear as possible. Once again, this is not simply a statement of intent. This is action underway. For example, just last month, we reconfigured our Directorate General for Translation to reflect these needs and developments. So these changes enable us to become even more efficient and to focus on our priorities. So we added a new Directorate for Technology, acknowledging that technology is central to our business. We have new units working specifically on our multilingual AI-based services, IT services, and data management. We have streamlined our management structure, and we are expanding our editing service. This Translation Europe Forum gives you a chance to discover what these and other changes underway mean to all sides of our profession. Namely, what changes are underway in translator training programs, what new job profiles are emerging for newly qualified linguists, what are the skills you need to thrive in the industry today, what the gaps are on the market, and what new tools and services are out there that we need to learn about and know. I'm really looking forward to 3 days of stimulating discussion and debates on all these issues and more. In this forum, we listen to different views and perspectives from all sides of the profession. Translation students and their professors, freelance professionals, the public service, private sector startups, and major industry players. So it doesn't really matter whether you are a newcomer to the profession or a seasoned expert or manager. We will listen to your views and ideas. This is what makes also the Translating Europe Forum such a unique event. We share our love of language and the desire to use our skills and passion to build understanding and cross-cultural, cross-linguistic connections, to support democracy and to enable people to play an active role in society across the world, to boost competitiveness and innovation all over the world by enabling these connections and being at the forefront of technological change, and to help our profession adapt and evolve to meet today's needs and challenges. With all this in mind, I really invite you to make the most of all the discussions and, of course, the lunch breaks and coffee breaks. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in one of the sessions.